Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, and Chafadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, rule and teach well, and peace, love, and salutations to the men out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yala from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. I pray and hope that it's edifying. And this lesson is in regard to prophecies being fulfilled very quickly, very rapidly. You have the implementation of the chip, the RFID microchip is being implemented in certain states, like Michigan. I hope this video don't get flagged for that. But at the same time this is happening, you have Vladimir Putin saying something like this. So I'm gonna start off with this quick precept in the book of Ezekiel. It says, "And the word of the Lord came." Ezekiel 38. 1, it says, "The word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, and the land of Magog, the chief priest of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesied against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog and Magog, prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine enemies, all thine armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." You see, so Russia, the land of Russia sits where Gog and Magog once was. So when you read the scriptures referring to the people that are now currently inhabiting that land, which are the Edomites, but they inhabit Gog and Magog, okay? So the Lord said he's going to put hooks in their jaws, because after the Cold War, after the Soviet Union fell, Russia was cool with America, you see, but now Russia is getting that old Soviet Union type mind state again, right? And now they're looking at America as the threat, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and Russia is actually gearing up for war, because Russia's saying, hey, if y'all come over here into Ukraine, man, it's not gonna be good for y'all. All right. So let's go ahead and play this video, and then we're gonna grab some more precepts.
What about Iraq? What they said was the trigger. They said it was the weapons of mass destruction. They invaded the country, they destroyed it, they created a hotbed of international terrorism, and then they said, oh, sorry. Reconnaissance, intelligence gave us some bad results, That was because of poor reconnaissance. Well, it turned out there were no weapons of mass destruction. It had been destroyed. What about Syria? Did they ever ask for any sanction from the UN Security Council? No, they do what they want to do. What they're currently doing in Ukraine, what they're planning to do in Ukraine, that's not thousands of kilometers away from our borders. No, that's right near our home.
See that? So they're saying, hey, the things that the U.S. is doing. Look what they did over there in Iraq. Look what they did in Afghanistan. Look at what they've done to all these other countries. Now they're trying to go into Ukraine. That's our backyard. You know what I'm saying? And these people want to go there and regulate what's happening over in Ukraine. No, we're not going to let that happen. You see? So then you also have China, and you have Turkey. You have all of these other nations, because when you go back to this precept, it even says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Tograma of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. You see? So it says, verse 7, it says, "Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." You see? So the Lord is effectively saying, hey, get ready for war. You see what I'm saying? And gather these armies together. And what's happening? You're seeing China is preparing for war. You're seeing Russia is preparing for war. You got countries that you would have never thought that would have hypersonic missiles and nuclear missiles, and they have them. You see? Because they're preparing for this great world's war, because guess what? Everybody hates the whore, which is Babylon the Great. Babylon has so much to pay for, so much wickedness that this place has done. You know, out of every civilization that has ever existed in the history of mankind, Babylon has been the worst, Babylon the Great. This is why the destruction of Babylon is going to be so devastating. From sea to sea, nothing but sand and dust. This is why. Because of all the wickedness that they've done. And the other nations understand the level of wickedness, you know? The other nations understand how wicked America is, you know? They understand that. So, next precept, I'm going to grab. I'm going to go to Obadiah. It says, this is Obadiah 1:1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among all the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. You see? So everything is stirring up toward a battle against Edom. And what the Lord is doing is he's putting the Edomites against the Edomites and all of the other nations against the Edomites and then all of the other nations against each other. It's like a royal rumble that's about to happen, you know, for the Lord to come back and put an end to it all. Verse 2, it says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. So when you're watching the Vladimir Putin saying, hey, they done did this shit, they do whatever they want, and you have other nations saying, America this, America that, the other nations are starting to hate this place. They're saying America, you know, is a wicked place, you know, and they're not looking at America as that shining city as it once was. They're looking at it as that putrid, disgusting place that no one really wants to inhabit anymore, you know. And this is Obadiah, where it says small. It says young, small, insignificant, unimportant, insignificant, young, unimportant. And if you look at America, the dollar's collapsing. You know, all of these countries that want to get out the dollar. At first, you know, when this first happened, you know, these other countries were welcoming the dollar in, like, man, give me the dollar, give me the dollar. When the United States dollar first became the world reserve currency, you know. But now when you look at the shit, now the rest of the world is like, nah, man, we don't want your dollar. We don't want to have nothing to do with you. As a matter of fact, you're nothing. You're worse than nothing, you know. And that's how the other nations are looking at Babylon the Great now. They're looking at Babylon the Great as nothing. Okay, it's insignificant. And it says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You see, because America thinks, or the people in America, they still think that this is the greatest fucking country on the planet. Yeah, well, if you want to say great as far as the greatest deceiving country, the greatest killing and murdering country, the greatest robbing country, the greatest thieving country, the greatest raping country, the greatest pillaging country, you know, the greatest country of war. Yeah, if you want to say that, then yeah. But America is not a great country. America is a wicked ass country. Okay? It's greatly wicked. That's the only great you can apply to Babylon. It's how wicked this place is. You know, this place is exceedingly polluted. And this devil don't think that he ever gonna be brought down. This is why he continues to sit there and tell Russia, hey, we're gonna run up in Ukraine, even though you're telling us if we do, it's gonna be war. This is exactly why the United States is saying, hey, we're gonna run up in Taiwan. And China like, well, if you run up in Taiwan, this is what we're gonna do. And America like, okay, well, whatever. Because they think that they still have that military power that they once had years ago, where all of the other nations were bowing down to Babylon, you know, and one second. So I'm gonna go to we're gonna go back to this Obadiah. I want to go to Joel because, you know, the Lord gave these other nations also the thermonuclear technology that they needed to defend themselves. All right, so this is Joel 3:10, and it says, this is Joel, I'm going to start at 9. It says, this is Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. And this is not talking about the Hebrew Israelite Gentiles that are scattered among the nations. This is talking about the Gentiles, okay? The ones that are outside the temple, those Gentiles, okay? It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, you see? Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say that I am strong, you see? So all of these nations that were once devastated by the United States technology, their bombs and all that stuff, their weapons of destruction, now they have those same weapons. They took their agriculture, because that's what that means when it says beat your plowshares, because your plowshare is an agricultural tool. They took all of their tools for agriculture or their funding for agriculture and put it into defense, into war. And guess what? Now they have a nuclear arsenal. They have a huge army. They're no longer sitting around saying that we the weak country that America is taking advantage of. We're no longer that country. So the Lord had put the spirit on these other nations to say, F America. What's up? What's up? You see? And all this is happening while the MOTB is being implemented. All this is happening while the MOTB is being implemented in certain states of America right now. You see? So we are really at the door. We are at the door of the end. There's so much happening. There's so much happening in the world that we know that the Lord is at the door. All right. So going back to this Obadiah, it says, verse 4, it says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. You see? So the Lord is going to bring Esau down. All right? Now, I'm going to skip down to the point. This is verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. You see, there was a time where these other nations was at peace with America. They were happy to do the bidding of America, of the so-called white man. Now everybody's starting to acknowledge white supremacy. Everybody's starting to acknowledge how America got its wealth, how the crown and in Europe and all these different Edomite established countries got their wealth. They're starting to understand that you did it through colonialism, through rape, rob, murder, pillaging, and slavery, forced slavery. You see, that's how you did it. You didn't do it in a righteous way. You didn't create an environment to where everybody flourished and then the people wanted to become tributaries to you because you created such a peaceful environment and such a good environment for them to flourish and their children to flourish and their lands to flourish, because of how you're ruling, that they want to be tributaries to you and give you all of their first fruits of everything. Because you've created that's not what you've done. Okay, what you've done is you use your sword to go in and force everything by the sword and by your deceit, and you have literally destroyed the world and the other nations. You've destroyed cultures. You've destroyed everything. So you didn't get your power through righteousness. You got it through wickedness. Okay, and it's just like that bully. You think a boy at school is getting bullied by a fucking bully every single day for years? You think when that bully has a problem, when that bully's starting to fall, you think that little boy, you think he gonna be like, the bully? No, he gonna use that opportunity to stalk that bully, man. You finally about to get your comeuppance. You finally about to get yours. You see? So you think these other nations that been being bullied by America, you think that they're gonna have mercy on America when the time comes? Hell no. Hell no. Okay? So when he talks about how all the men that are confederate with thee, that all the men of that confederacy, all those that signed the treaty with you, that said that we're gonna be partners with you, have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and have prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him. You see, so Esau, you through, man. You're done. These other nations are going to have theirs. Okay? They're going to get you. Okay? All the things that you've done, they're going to get you. You see? I'm going to grab one last precept, close out. All right. So let me go to Jeremiah. Come on, 8. Here we go. Jeremiah 51:7. And it says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have dranken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. You see that? So the nations are upset because they were sold a lie. They were sold a lie. The American dream is an American nightmare and it's a goddamn lie, and the other nations were sold it and they bought it. And now that they're seeing what they got, they're seeing the product, they're like, oh man, this is not what we wanted. You lied to us. You see? It says, Babylon is set, verse 8, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her. If so, she may be healed. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let every man go into his own country, for her judgment have reached unto the heavens, and is lifted up to the sky. So, there is no coming back to Babylon the Great. And these other nations are going to help facilitate the destruction of this place. And then after the nuclear missiles hit, the Lord is going to come back with that concentrated fire and finish this place off. You see what I'm saying? There's going to be nothing left in America. But the whole point of this video was to show that we are at the door. Prophecies are popping off. There's nothing like the other Israelite groups out there that was talking when we were talking about what was happening in the world. They kept saying no this, no that. Now this shit is actually happening, bro. Now what you gonna say? Real soon, people are going to be looking for answers, and the answers had already been given, and you didn't get them when you had a chance to, and there's not going to be any more answers in the future. All right? You're going to get those people that are going to be sincerely looking, but for those people who've actually been marked and rejected by the Lord, bro, you're through. You're through. Just like America's through. So with that, I'm going to end it up by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh, double honor to the elders and the apostle, great millstone. To the next time, Akim Shalom.